To be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/LA right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
All gas, all Lakers.
LeBron drives again down the middle. Slam dunk!
Gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal.
Every night, the purple and gold put on for Los Angeles.
The West Conference is super tough, super competitive, and that's great. I mean, we wouldn't want it any other way.
LeBron still leading the charge, chasing greatness, one highlight at a time.
Just an absolute thunder dunk by LeBron.
From the King to Luka. 2 superstars sharing the Showtime spotlight.
Obviously, we had some new pieces to the team. So like I say, I'm very excited, and I think we can do some big things.
On down to Austin Reeves and the next wave of stars in the purple and gold. It's the Lake Show all year long.
Now Austin Reeves for 3. That's good!
Experience every dunk, every clutch shot, every Laker moment.
The Lakers play here on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey, it's May. Shorter days don't have to be so dismal. It's time to reach out and check in with those you care about and to remind ourselves that we're not alone. This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month of therapy. Just call pound 250 and say the keyword timeout. That's keyword timeout after calling pound 250.
Pechanga Resort Casino is rewarding you on another level. Bring in a rewards card from one of 16 Southern California casinos and access exclusive benefits with Pechanga's tier status match program. Qualified members can even win $25,000 club dollars. But hurry, this limited time offer ends December 31st and match statuses remain valid through January 31st, 2026. Open the new and existing Pechanga club members. Visit the club at Pechanga for more details. Must be 21 or older with valid ID.
Your Lakers, your season, your home.
Monday, the purple and gold road trip makes a stop in Charlotte as the Lake Show face off with the Hornets.
Luka dribbling, steps back, 3 for the lead. That's good! Lakers lead!
Coverage of Lakers versus Hornets starts Monday at 3:45 p.m.
The Lake Show lives here.
The Lakers Locker Room Report.
The ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network. Your home for Lakers basketball.
LaRavia drives to the middle of the paint, left-hand hook. Nice shot by Jake.
Yeah, it looked like Austin Reeves on that move.
Maybe they can use that to build a little momentum, or they could watch Dyson Daniels drive right down Main Street and lay it in uncontested.
A little round-the-back trick, Pete Maravich ball handling there.
Yeah, but the Lakers aren't interested in playing defense tonight, at least not so far.
No, they were not interested in playing defense, the Lakers, tonight. John Ireland, you are correct. This is the Lakers Locker Room on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network. Andy Kamenetsky in for Beto Duran. The Lakers fall 122-102 to the Hawks in Atlanta in a score that honestly didn't feel even that close. And that play from Dyson Daniels, part of a near triple-double, 10 points, 13 assists, 8 rebounds on a night where the Hawks needed somebody to step up in their shorthanded state, and Dyson Daniels was terrific. He earns the drive of the game, powered by Goodwill Southern California, changing lives through the power of work. Again, the Lakers fall 122-102 to the Hawks, their first road loss of this season. And it's one thing to lose on the road, and it's another thing to even lose to on the road to a team with a worse record than you. Like, It's the NBA. This stuff happens. The other team gets a vote. They're professionals. All these caveats. At the same time, though, the Hawks were missing Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, their two best players, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kristaps Porzingis, their two big offseason acquisitions, Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Kristaps Porzingis, plus Luke Kennard. And they were on the second end of a back-to-back. They played last night against the Toronto Raptors, lost that game, cup game for the Hawks. So all of these different factors were working in the Lakers' favor in this game. I know that they don't have Austin Reeves. I know they don't have LeBron James. I know they don't have Gabe Vincent. But they have far more of their players who matter. They're coming off a couple days of rest. They're coming off a great win against San Antonio Spurs. And this was the first of 5 games on a road trip that is very important for the Lakers and also set up for them to, at minimum, finish 3-2. When you take into account this game against the Hawks, then the next game against the Charlotte Hornets, then they've got one against the New Orleans Pelicans. Those are all 3 teams that are struggling. In the case of the Hornets and Pelicans, a lot. Then they've got the Thunder and the Bucks. You try to split one of those games, and you have the opportunity for a 4-1 road trip, or at minimum, a very acceptable 3-2, depending on how they theoretically lose to the Thunder or to the Bucks. That's now all gone out the window, and it's frustrating because the Lakers very clearly showed up expecting to win this game, and the effort simply was not there. They got out-efforted by a worse team, and now the goal that I'm sure they had heading into this road trip of 3-2 at minimum, 4-1 quite possibly, that's going to become a lot harder for them. And hopefully this is a wake-up for them that, yeah, they've been playing really well, but you can't expect anything. And they should know that because they've won some games that it didn't always look like they were in a position to win. The next broadcast of the season is going to be Monday in the Tar Heel State as the Lakers take on, well, LaMelo Ball I don't think is actually going to be playing in this game. But they're going to be taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Local coverage begins at 2:30 with the tip-off for 4 p.m., and we invite you to stay with us for more post-game coverage on 710 ESPN. I'll tell you this much right now. We watched JJ Redick give a very brief post-game media session. He looked mad. I think you're going to want to hear what he has to say. So, again, post-game coverage on 710 ESPN. This has been the Lakers Locker Room on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
You've been listening to the Lakers Locker Room Report. Lakers basketball is presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Catch the Lakers Locker Room Report recapping what went down after every Lakers game.
The ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Lakers fans, if you're injured in an accident, all attorneys say they'll fight for you. You call Jacob, he'll win for you, just like the Lakers. Call Jacob at 844-24-JACOB or visit him online at calljacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Your Lakers, your season, your home.
Monday, the Purple and Gold road trip makes a stop in Charlotte as the Lake Show face off with the Hornets.
Luka dribbling, steps back, 3 for the lead. That's good! Lakers lead!
Coverage of Lakers versus Hornets starts Monday at 2:30 p.m.
The Lake Show lives here. 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Hey, Dad, I gotta come clean about something.
Okay.
I only paid for a brand new Hyundai Tucson.
Oh, you might be on the naughty list.
Feels so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid models. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Offer ends December 1st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Black Eyed Peas legend Taboo joined DeMarco and Travis to share his passion for the Dodgers and the legacy of Fernando.
Got to talk about Fernando.
El Toro.
El Toro.
Yes, sir.
And I love hearing the story of what he meant to somebody that is Latino, that somebody that is Mexican-American or Mexican. And you got to live that experience, Taboo.
Yes, sir. For me, it was wanting heroes that represented us. The way that he looked. He was a chubbier, heavier set kid that was an amazing pitcher. So it was unconventional to sports or being an athlete. He didn't care. He's like, yo, this is me. Take me how I am. I'm going to put it down for the city. I'm going to represent Mexicanos with ultimate class. Even if I don't speak English, you got Jaime Jarrin being a translator.
Yep.
You know, it was just beautiful to see that for our city.
DeMarco and Travis in the afternoon. It's sports, music, culture, and a whole lot of Dodger Blue. Weekdays starting at 3 p.m. on ESPN LA.
It's time for your first chance to react to tonight's Lakers game.
It's time for the Lakers postgame show tonight.
This is the Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN. Call now to be part of the Lakers postgame show and react on the game.
Lakers Hawks from State Farm Arena is the final. Game 10 of the NBA season is in the books from the ATL.
Lakers basketball is a final.
877-710 ESPN.
This is the Lakers postgame show.
Tipping off now.
Here's Andy Kamenetsky.
Woo, boy. Woo, boy. The Lakers, the first of a 5-game road trip that felt to me heading in like it was a real potential opportunity for the Lakers to keep building the cushion of their strong start, 7-2 over the first 9 games. I felt like this road trip, Andy Kamenetsky in for Beto Duran, I felt like this road trip against the Hawks, shorthanded, very shorthanded, we will get into that, then followed by the Hornets, who are not very good and I think are going to have some injuries of their own. Then OKC, that's a legit game. That's going to be the hardest game that they face. Though the Lakers have played OKC well in the Luka era, brief as it's been. Then you've got the Pelicans, who stink, and the Bucks, second end of a back-to-back. That's going to be a tough one. But it felt to me like this road trip was an opportunity to have a 3-2 record as a baseline. 4-1 as a real possibility, and that would have been fantastic. Instead, the Lakers show up seeing that the Hawks are without Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, their 2 best players, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Kennard, 5 key rotation players for them, and on the second end of a back-to-back, they played last night against the Toronto Raptors in a cup loss. And it felt to me like the Lakers, despite the fact that they don't have Austin Reeves, they obviously don't have LeBron, he has not suited up yet this season, and they don't have Gabe Vincent, it felt to me like the Lakers showed up very much expecting to win this game. Like expecting that it was in the bag. And I talked with Michael Thompson before the game about how one of the things that has been great about this Lakers team, because they've had a lot of injuries themselves, and they have had at times, the road win in Portland, for example, comes to mind when they were playing without their big 3 plus Gabe Vincent on the second end of a back-to-back themselves. That, to me, felt like a potential game that could have been seen as a scheduled loss, and one where you would even understand if just the Lakers did not have the bodies or the energy to win that game. And that game, which was a Lakers win, like other games for the Lakers this season, they have had an attitude and mindset of, we do not accept the idea of scheduled losses. This was a game, however, that the Lakers seemed to treat it like a scheduled win. Like all they really had to do was show up, and they were going to win this game. And from the outset, it was very clear that this Hawks team that is not great to begin with and has not been great even at full strength, much less this one-winged version of themselves, they were not accepting the scheduled win piece of this for the Lakers. And they ran them off the court, man. 122-102 honestly makes it seem closer than it actually was. JJ Redick was pretty mad afterwards, pretty short with the media. Here's what he had to say.
JJ, anything specific stand out about how the game kind of started and you weren't able to get going as a team?
Yeah, just not a lot to like tonight.
Where, you obviously had mentioned, right, you're going to emphasize that this happens sometimes when other teams are down. They find a way to rally around the flag. Did you feel some of that from the Hawks, or did you feel like this is more of your issue?
Oh, they brought the requisite level of effort and urgency and physicality.
We spoke about pregame about how you guys were in that position as the Hawks. We spoke about how much you guys have rallied and brought that energy. Is it even more disappointing to see it to kick off this road trip in that manner, considering you guys have done it so much to start?
Yeah, very disappointing.
So now, kind of, what's next? What's next? Is it kind of just you flush this one, or do you look at it after, or is it just let's just forget and move on to the next one?
No, we're going to look at it for sure.
Was there a moment in that third quarter that you realized that this was not going to be one of those nights where at least your first unit was going to get that?
I realized that in the first 2 minutes of the game.
What did you see in those first 2 minutes?
Nothing.
Yowza. Yowza. Nothing. What did you see in the first 2 minutes? JJ Redick has asked. Nothing. And mic drop from there. Like, JJ was mad because JJ is, if nothing else, a chatty guy.
Does he not want to get asked more questions or whatever?
No. I think he found the perfect out.
Really?
Like, oh yeah. If JJ wanted just to have the opportunity to blast the team, and 877-710-ESPN if you want to call in to blast the team, and I'm sure many of you do, if he wanted to, he could have found the opportunity to keep taking questions, keep laying into them. Nothing was the perfect mic drop opportunity. What did you see from them in the first 2 minutes? Nothing, mic drop, walk out. That's making a statement. Because, again, I don't think that it's JJ not wanting to talk, because if we've learned nothing about JJ over his season and change with the Lakers as their coach, his time in media, his time as a player, JJ will talk. Getting JJ to talk is not a problem. And so it's clear. I'm not saying that as a jab at JJ. I'm just saying that's his personality. He is somebody who is very loquacious, very verbal. Getting him to speak is not typically a problem. These short clipped responses, I'm sure, reflected his legitimate anger at how this game played out. But I also think the walking out at that nothing was him recognizing this is a mic drop moment. This is a one-word quote that is going to make the rounds. I'm leaving it here. Points in the Paint all season long, sponsored by Vista Paint. For nearly 70 years, Vista Paint has delivered on color coverage and service built for hustle and bustle in California. Vista Paint, contractor trusted and always ready. The Hawks won this game in the paint 62-46, and I do wonder how many of the Laker points in the paint were backloaded. The Hawks, over this period, it's now, I guess, 5 games without Trae Young, they had been attacking the paint a lot. They had been top 5 in paint points during this period without Trae. So it's not shocking to me that they managed to put up 62. Maybe a little bit, just considering some of the guys they were missing.
It's a lot easier to get points in the paint when you have like a guy jacking up 10 threes from outside 26 feet.
I was going to say, it's not shocking that they would look to go into the paint because, again, it's what they've been doing. The Lakers did not seem either ready for it or seem interested in stopping it if they were prepared for it. But either way, it's just indicative of how they frankly got their asses handed them by the Hawks and how it didn't even seem like they were that concerned about getting their asses handed to them by the Hawks. JJ in Belmont Shores, you are on the Lakers postgame show. What's up, JJ?
Good evening, my friend. How are you?
Good.
Hey, I'm not going to come out here and bash the Lakers the way you're expecting callers to do. I'm going to say one thing. When you get your ass whipped this is the time you come back. If you want 3-2 in this road trip, 4-1 in this road trip, I think it's great you got your ass whipped because it shows you ain't as good as you thought you were.
There is a possible upside to that, JJ, and I appreciate the call. Like, the Lakers, I'm sure they entered this game feeling good about themselves, and to be fair, they should feel good about themselves. They've had a really good start to the season. They've dealt with a lot of adversity. They've played really hard over the course of this season. Like, Golden State, they were a little bit flat, but I wonder how much of that was, for example, DeAndre Ayton. This was not a particularly good game from Ayton, but for the most part, Ayton's energy has been, I think, very good. I think he's been attentive on both ends. I think he's been putting the effort in. And I mentioned Ayton just because he was a guy that in that opening game against the Warriors seemed almost like he was trying to stay out of the way or show like I'm not going to be the guy who's looking for my points and looking for my numbers the way the detractors would say. I'm looking to just be the player that they need, fit into my role, be a team-centric guy. And then I think it became clear from there, no, really, we need you to be attentive on both ends of the floor, but we do need your points. We need your statistics. We brought you in here to put up numbers, but just do the other stuff as well. This was just a game where it felt like they thought it was gift wrapped for them and that they would be able to just take a team that was missing their two best players, Trae Young and Jalen Johnson, plus some key role players in Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Kennard, second end of a back-to-back, and they would just be able to control this thing with a minimal amount of effort. And what you do need to remember is it is the NBA. Like, these are pros. These guys do have pride. And because they're playing the Lakers, that means it's going to be a sold-out crowd. In part because Atlanta is basically Crypto.com Southeast. Like, Atlanta is a very friendly road venue for the Lakers. Take that any way you want. But it is a very friendly road venue.
Heard to have good lemon pepper wings there.
Dude, I wonder if they had too many lemon peppers last night. Lot of lemon peppers.
Lots of Sprite and lots of lemon pepper wings.
Well, maybe the lemon pepper. I don't know anything. They did get into Atlanta on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Which means they had some free range time in Atlanta on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what, if anything, went on. I have no idea if there were too many lemon peppers indulged. Because to be fair, they may have just shown up thinking we can beat this team anyway, and it had nothing to do with lemon peppers. It had nothing to do with too many lemon pepper wings consumed. I will just say they showed up looking like a team expecting to win this thing. And from minute one, here's the thing also about it that I thought was really interesting. It wasn't just that they clearly showed up expecting to win. It's that it took way too long for them to, I think, really start putting in the requisite effort. Like okay, course correct. These Hawks aren't going to lay down. We got to kick it into gear. It felt like they spent the first half just expecting to eventually win by sheer measure of their talent. And that just simply was not the case. Hopefully it is a lesson learned. Again, the Lakers fall 122-102 to the Hawks in Atlanta. Coming up, Jake LaRavia spoke post-game, plus your calls, 877-710-ESPN. Hold if you're waiting. I will get to you. It was the Lakers post-game show. Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710.
Some radio shows take your calls. Mason and Ireland take calls too, except in the bathroom stall.
Hey, Michael, so I go to the can. I'm doing my business, and I hear somebody taking a call in the handicap stall.
That was me.
Now, why would you take calls during a trip to the can?
Who doesn't?
I don't. I would never talk on the phone while I'm on the can.
Aren't you afraid you're going to make an unwanted noise?
No, you hold it in.
By the way, I was making unwanted noises, and I was I was in the next stall.
Why didn't you say hello?
Yeah. By the way, you can't control.
I was speaking
you
in
can't
a language
control
you don't
the
know.
noises he's making.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
I hope it wasn't.
Let's just tell people it's static.
Static, yes.
Don't miss Mason and Ireland weekdays at noon on 710 ESPN, the ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. If you're ready to upgrade your driving experience, you gotta go and check out what's happening at Cadillac and their incredible new lineup of state-of-the-art EVs, sedans, and SUVs. And hey, look, there's no better place to experience the luxury of Cadillac than at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out Cadillac of Beverly Hills and their beautiful showroom at 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And check them out on the web at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
Your Lakers, your season, your home.
Monday, the Purple and Gold road trip makes a stop in Charlotte as the Lake Show face off with the Hornets.
Luka dribbling, steps back, three for the lead. That's good! Lakers lead!
Coverage of Lakers versus Hornets starts Monday at 2:30 p.m.
The Lake Show lives here. 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
This is the Lakers postgame show
Highlights from tonight's Lakers game and your reaction on the Lakers line.
on 710 ESPN. Call now to be part of the Lakers postgame show and react on the game.
877-710 ESPN.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
And now the Lakers do steal it. Hachimura gets it to Luka, and he gives it right back. Daniels with it. Back to Gay for three, and he hit it.
This kid can shoot.
Yeah, but the Lakers aren't guarding him.
We still got to make it.
Good point. 75-61. Hawks by 14.
A lot of Laker fans may have had no idea who the hell Mohamed Gay is, considering this is just the 50th game of his NBA career, and he's been largely a reserve player. Started tonight because the Hawks were missing Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Luke Kennard, and Kristaps Porzingis. They needed somebody to step up. Mentioned Dyson Daniels earlier. Mohamed Gay, career high 21 points tonight. Career high 7 assists. He had never had more than 3 in a game before tonight, on a night where the Hawks needed somebody to help move the ball because most of their playmakers were out. Mohamed Gay had himself a night. He is the player of the game.
And he's really not related to Marvin Gaye, right?
No, different spelling. Very, very different spelling. He spells his Gueye. I actually had to look up.
Not Rudy Gay, too.
No. I honestly had to look it up to make sure I was spelling or pronouncing it correctly because I wanted to make sure to give the man his dues. But 21 and 7 assists tonight, plus 7 rebounds. He had himself a terrific game. Player of the game, driven by your Southern California Toyota dealers. It's the Here and Now sales event. The clock is ticking. Don't wait to grab a great deal on a new Toyota. We make it easy, just like the Hawks made it look easy to beat the Lakers because, in part, the Lakers thought it would be easy to beat the Hawks. Take your calls, 877-710-ESPN. Walrus and Encino, my dude. You're on the Lakers postgame show. What's up, Walrus?
Hey, what's up, AK? What's up, Punch? I'm out here in these streets, if you can hear the road. I got a great quote from Ayton tonight after the game. He goes, us not even, save my recycle there, us not even damn near competing in the sense it looks bad on paper, it looks bad on the film. This is one of them games where, yeah, the food going to taste bad tonight. This is the NBA. We got 82 games, next game up. I appreciate that accountability from DA. You know, for me, AK, yeah, obviously they didn't show up to play tonight. You know, when a team has nothing to lose like these Hawks, that is usually the most dangerous team to play because they're going to play just, you know, balls to the wall, pun intended. And there are some trends, though, that are continuing with the Lakers. The turnovers are just killer. Those 20 turnovers tonight led to 36 points for the Hawks. For me, that's the thing you can point to in terms of stats. And, you know, it's just it's unfortunate because they should have been able to put this game in their back pocket, and they expected to, and obviously that did not happen. One thing, though, that I want to say before I get off, I don't think it's a coincidence. I really don't, that this happens with LeBron James, not with the team. People can say whatever they want about LeBron James. That guy holds his teammates accountable. And I really feel if he was in the locker room at halftime, maybe they don't win the game, but I think they come out in the third quarter and put more of a fight than they did. So you got to learn from this thing, eat it, you know, don't flush it. Like, don't forget it. You know, this is November. This is the kind of game that you don't want to have many more of these down the line because that's what can ultimately put you behind as far as the standings go. So hopefully it's a learning opportunity for a team that is without their, you know, two of their top three players. I think that might be wearing on the team right now. You know, the idea that Austin is not going to be available for who knows how long. So we shall see, man. But the turnovers, they got to cut that stuff out. That it doesn't matter who you're playing. It could be the best team. It could be the worst team. If you're turning the ball over, you're giving the other team more shots. And if they're making them like the Hawks did tonight, you're probably going to lose. Anyways, great to talk to you, AK. Hope is all as well with you. Have a great night, guys. And as always, no matter what, go Lake Show.
Walrus, rack him. Rack him. Excellent call. A lot to chew on from there. First of all, the question of LeBron, if it would have made a difference if he were there or not in terms of helping maintain the right mindset, it's hard to know one way or the other, but just to make sure people understand, LeBron not being with the team right now is the right call because he's trying to ramp himself up to be ready, hopefully by the 18th when the first game the Lakers play at home after this 5-game roadie that is against the Jazz. If not, then I think the next game is, I want to say the 23rd, I think against the Clippers. But regardless, it makes no sense for LeBron to be with the team right now. And to be clear, I don't think Walrus was implying that he should have been there and wasn't. I didn't get that sense at all. But just so people don't use that idea, you know, that things would have been better had LeBron been there to criticize LeBron. It makes no sense for a guy trying to ramp up for a return to be getting off and on planes, to be going to different cities, to having his schedule become irregular, make it more difficult for him to actually continue doing the rehab, do some 5-on-5 play that he is ramping himself up towards. He might actually get some workouts with the South Bay Lakers. So it does make sense for LeBron not to be with the team. But if that leadership void mattered and wasn't filled, it means that Luka needs to step up. It means that Austin Reeves needs to step up. It means that Marcus Smart and Rui Hachimura and the guys who have been on this team for a while, or in a case of Marcus Smart, somebody that's been known in this league for leadership. Those guys need to step it up. Like, it obviously falls on JJ too, but in terms of the players holding themselves accountable, because at the end of the day, nobody's voices, I think, in terms of accountability matter more than the players. Like, in this particular sense, like if the team isn't playing hard enough, I think there's only so much a coach can say. It really comes down to the players policing themselves. And tonight was not a night where they policed themselves well, and they ultimately ended up paying the price. Walrus also brought up the Lakers' turnovers. They had 20 in this game, 36 points for Atlanta off those turnovers. And on one hand, I know they were without LeBron, Reeves, Gabe Vincent, 3 of their top 5 ball handlers. So that plays a role, without question. It makes it harder to move the ball without turning it over. It makes it harder at times to set up good shots. But at the same time, man, Atlanta did not have Trae Young, who is one of the best ball movers in the entire league. They didn't have Jalen Johnson, who's probably the best ball mover on this team, not named Trae or Young. They didn't have Kristaps Porzingis, who's one of their better playmakers. Didn't have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's one of their better playmakers. And they managed to move the ball without turning it over. I think they had just 10 until it was garbage time. Like, the Hawks had, if anything, more reason to struggle to avoid turnovers, and they didn't. I mean, that's just fact of the matter. Like, I get that it's more difficult for the Lakers, but at the same time, they've been playing without LeBron the entire season, without Reeves for some games, without Luka for some games, without Marcus Smart for some games, without Gabe Vincent for some games. And they managed to do a worse job of it than a team that I think was down even more important ball handlers. Like, I'm not going to say it wasn't a factor because I think it was, but I'm not going to use it as, I think, a legitimate explanation, especially considering just how low energy the Lakers were when they came out to start this game. Matt in Fontana, you're on the Lakers postgame show. What's up, Matt?
Hey, man. Good evening. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely.
Just a couple of quick comments. First, what is up with Bronny James coming down, making a nice floater, and then going and making a three-point foul? That's my first question. I don't even understand that. That's ridiculous. And then on top of that, the Lakers were doing fine. They were hanging in there. But this was a must-lose game. You know how it is. Coaching, they're like, hey, man, we don't care about this one because the rankings are not going to change, as far as Portland goes. So, you know what? I just chalk it up to a loss that was expected. And that's in sports. They say, hey, tonight we might just give this one away. I don't know. What do you think on those?
Appreciate the call there, Matt. My issue isn't necessarily that they lost. I mean, it is a problem for the Lakers in the sense that this was a real opportunity to help build their record and really succeed on this road trip. Like, to me, this was one of 3 games that the Lakers, if they play at the top of their games, they can win this one, and they should win this one. The Hawks are not a great team at full strength, much less on the second end of a back-to-back, missing 5 of their best players. And their 2 best, hands down. Trae Young and Jalen Johnson are the 2 best players. So this was an opportunity for the Lakers to get this road trip off to a good start, to continue, as Darvin Ham used to say, stacking wins. But maybe the Hawks have the game of their life. They all become a bunch of Muhammad Gays who had the best game of his career. That can happen. It's professional sports. These guys are pros too. They get a vote. All of that. The problem was that the Lakers showed up expecting to win. They clearly expected to win. And that was a problem. That ultimately set a tone that I think they never were able to completely overcome, and it ultimately bit them in the ass. Jake LaRavia had some post-game comments, and here's what he had to say.
JJ told us you tell, within 2 minutes that it just didn't think the energy wasn't there, whatever you want to call it. Did you feel that on the floor, and do you feel like there's a reason you guys weren't able to find it like you have the previous several games?
Yeah, I mean, it's always up to that first group to come out and kind of set the tone, and I just don't think, we really did that today. We kind of came out and got punched in our mouth and didn't really have an answer for it. They just outplayed us at the end of the day. We struggled defensively. We had some turnovers that were, not very good, and they were scoring off the turnovers, which obviously doesn't help. At the end of the day, it's really just up to that first group that starts to come out and set the tone, and we just got to do a better job of that.
You understand these games do happen sometimes in the NBA, but do you still, do you hold yourself to a higher standard of it? Do you are kind of eager for the next one? How do you make sure it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to learn from it and move on. You got to understand that, this isn't the identity of this team. This game was an outlier of, the first 10 games that we've played. And, just to not let it break us. We're just going to come right back the next game and be ready to play.
And then just for kind of find one specific thing, like defensively, was it the back line? Was it the lack of help just with them getting downhill so much and getting in the paint? Why was that happening?
Yeah, this is just a team that cuts a lot off ball and just tries to get to the paint. And they had a really good shooting night the whole night, especially that first half. But yeah, team defensively and individually, we just weren't there.
Jake, in terms of pregame energy, did you feel something like this coming on, or was it just didn't show up in the first 2 minutes?
No, I mean, I don't think we ever go into a game where we either, we knew that they had guys out, but I don't think we're ever going into the game underestimating, the team that we're playing against. We knew they were going to come out and play hard. We kind of knew what their game plan was going to be. We just didn't come out and execute what ours was supposed to be.
I know you guys have been really proud of the connection you guys have built so far in these types of games when things aren't going well very early. How do you try to lean on your teammates to figure something out, like find some sort of spark?
Yeah, you just got to communicate. At the end of the day, this was a tough game. Like, again, this is kind of like just one of those games where the other team just kind of had it going, and we just couldn't find a way to kind of get over that hump. But when you find yourselves in these situations, you just can't let it break the team up and stop communicating with everyone. So you just got to communicate and make sure everyone stays locked in, which we didn't. But.
And that was Jake LaRavia on the heels of tonight's 122-102 loss to the Hawks in Atlanta. Coming up, DeAndre Ayton's thoughts and your calls, 877-710-ESPN. Lakers postgame show, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Your Lakers, your season, your home.
Monday, the Purple and Gold road trip makes a stop in Charlotte as the Lake Show face off with the Hornets.
Luka dribbling, steps back, three for the lead. That's good! Lakers lead!
Coverage of Lakers versus Hornets starts Monday at 2:30 p.m.
The Lake Show lives here. 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
I think I turned my clocks back too far. My gray hair is back to brown. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Show some care for your hair. We're offering huge savings on the Autumn Glow Hair Ritual at Sage Spa and Salon.
Number 2.
Bret Michaels' only SoCal engagement, November 21st, only at Morongo.
And the number 1 reason.
Win and drive home a Lincoln Nautilus, November 30th.
Morongo, good times.
When Mason and Ireland start breaking down the boss with MT, you know things could get off track.
Bruce Springsteen is not like a classic sounding singer,
Right.
but as a lyricist, he's maybe the greatest ever.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, the Nebraska album
in
Right
Rock
bass?
Band,
Does
right?
he sound like he's constipated when he sings?
Well, he's got a certain growl to him.
Music, sports, and everything in between. Mason and Ireland, weekdays at noon on ESPN LA. This is the Lakers postgame show
Highlights from tonight's Lakers game and your reaction on the Lakers line.
on 710 ESPN. Call now to be part of the Lakers postgame show and react on the game.
877-710 ESPN.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
The Lakers lose 122-102 to the Hawks in Atlanta. Lakers postgame show, Andy Kamenetsky in for Beto Duran. Boy, Beto pick a good night to take off doing whatever the hell he's doing. Kudos to you, my man.
Doing boxing.
Oh, he's doing boxing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then he's actually working. He's not just indulging in the proverbial lemon peppers.
He's not doing the lemon peppers.
Okay,
tonight,
well,
no, man.
Beto's got to work, man.
Maybe
Good.
that's after boxing. I don't know.
No, look, he's a grown man. He's allowed to do whatever he wants after
Yeah,
the boxing.
yeah.
But my boy Bert Dern picked a good night to not be here. Again, the Lakers 122-102 loss to the Hawks. It was interesting. Jake LaRavia, who we just heard from, was talking about how the Hawks are a team that does a lot of off-ball cutting, and they were making a lot of hay against the Lakers with those off-ball cuts. And that, to me, in a lot of ways, exemplified how the Lakers showed up just clearly expecting to win this game against a Hawks team that is now just 500. No Trae Young, no Jalen Johnson, no Nickeil Alexander-Walker, no Kristaps Porzingis, no Luke Kennard. Second end of a back-to-back. They lost the front end of it against the Raptors. Those back cuts require attentiveness and focus if you're going to be stopping them. Like, they actually require you to be paying attention to the details and to be putting all your focus and effort on the defensive end and, like, keeping up with everything happening on the floor, not just ball watching. And every Laker that was on the floor, I can recall off the top of my head them getting beat on a back cut at least once. Like at least once. You know, I remember a few with LaRavia. I remember a few with DeAndre Ayton. I remember DeAndre Ayton once, who I think his effort so far this season has been fantastic, but there was a transition bucket that the Hawks got where Ayton was barely jogging to get back in transition. Like, it was just a night where you could tell the Lakers expected to win this game, given that they're better than the Hawks to begin with and those circumstances. And they played like a team that thought this was gift wrapped for them, and it was anything but that, and they never found the ability to turn it back on. I mentioned DeAndre Ayton. He spoke after this loss. Here's what he had to say.
DeAndre, obviously not the effort that you guys have had typically so far this season. What did you think happened tonight, and where was that?
Really probably leaving those guys underestimated, not keeping those guys to account, forgetting about them, that this is the NBA and those are NBA players. It deflated us a little bit too of their shot making. I'm seeing the scouting report on the clips they have had in their previous games. That film was not showing the guys out there, and that's how the NBA is. It's always one of those nights where, you really have to lock in and dial in. And I feel like we were just behind the ball a little bit, and they killed us in transition, and they played amazing defense. And we weren't ready for it. And, JJ basically got on us about it. And, yeah, we're ready for the next game.
Yeah, I guess in the first half, you saw a lot of different possessions where they were getting behind the defense, right? And you guys have been doing a pretty good job of limiting that lately. Did you feel that the team defense just wasn't quite connected there?
Yeah, it wasn't connected at all. Just kind of... I was just discombobulated a little bit where how fast it was moving. Them guys were hungry. Next man up mentality, and they really showed up. Coach should really be happy of those guys over there. They really moved the ball well. I think they had plus 30 assists as well, and they had us moving. They was in our paint, and we couldn't do nothing about it.
Was there a specific moment in the game where you just could tell you guys didn't have the juice or would not have the juice that you guys have?
It was really coming out the half. I was really depending on the third quarter for us to have that, just to throw the first punch in. We kind of did. We made them call the first timeout, but after that timeout, they came out even more aggressive and locked in. And yeah, we couldn't match it because their made shots and our missed shots kind of like, the ratio was just all over the place. And it was more of a second effort game, and they definitely outplayed us.
Obviously, it's disappointing. Jake's mentioned that, JJ mentioned that, but it's even more disappointing when you guys basically did the same thing to Portland in Portland. Won games like this.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of like a hard pill to swallow for real. When we know what we're coming up against, and seeing the way how they played, and they played phenomenal, but like us not even damn near competing, in a sense, and it looks bad on paper and it looks bad on film. So this is one of them games where, yeah, the food gonna taste bad tonight, but this is the NBA. We got 82 games. Next game up.
What did you feel from Atlanta's defense that was probably unique, something that y'all haven't quite saw over the first, 2.5 weeks?
Nah, they had everything. They have like sizes over there. Them dudes can switch 1 through 5, and that's what they really did. And, everything's with pace and aggression. So that's something we're used to seeing. But they're one of the teams for sure, like Portland, that can really switch 1 through 5 with all their like sizes and really get their offense going off of just having stops on defense. And that's what they did. They made sure they got stops on live ball, and they got downhill and in our paint.
And that was DeAndre Ayton talking from Atlanta on the heels of tonight's 122-102 loss to the Hawks in Atlanta. And I thought it was interesting, DeAndre Ayton talking about how they underestimated some of their guys who are not typically on the scouting report. I mentioned Mohamed Gay. He had a career night, 21 points. That's a career high, 7 assists. That's more than double his previous career high of 3. This, I believe, is only the 50th game of his career. And the reason he jumps out at me is he is somebody that I am barely familiar with as somebody who covers the NBA. I had to double check to make sure that I was pronouncing his name correctly. And I have to imagine that he is an example of somebody DeAndre Ayton talked about who is not on the scouting report. Like when you prep for the Atlanta Hawks, respectfully to Muhammad Gay, who, again, stepped up and had a fantastic night, he is not somebody that's going to be top of mind or top of scouting report. But, as DeAndre Ayton also said, them guys were hungry. Like, you had a lot of guys out there who had an opportunity to show themselves. Even a guy like Dyson Daniels, who has established himself as one of the premier defensive players in the league.
Most improved player.
Yeah, most improved player. Dyson Daniels had an opportunity tonight to show what he could do in all facets of the game. He had a near triple-double, 10 points, leaves 13 assists and 8 rebounds against just 2 turnovers. And this was at a Hawks squad that was missing their top 4 usage guys, Trae Young, Kristaps Porzingis, Jalen Johnson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 4 of their top 5 guys in terms of his assist percentage. So there was a lot on Dyson Daniels' plate as a playmaker, but also the odds of high turnovers in that circumstance should be really high, especially for a Lakers defense that has been extremely disruptive. The fact that they had an easier time taking care of the ball than the Lakers, I realize the Lakers were missing Austin Reeves and LeBron James and Gabe Vincent. I don't care. Like, I honestly don't care. I'm not saying that that isn't a certain degree of adversity that the Lakers have to overcome. It is. Like, they're missing 2 of their 3 best players, 2 of their 3 best ball handlers, and 3 of their top 5 ball handlers. That is obviously something that needs to be overcome. But they still had the best player in Luka Doncic in this game by a long shot. And on a talent-by-talent basis, the Lakers had more in this game. And the fact that they basically doubled up the Hawks' turnovers, it just speaks to, I think, again, the lack of intensity and focus, and to use DeAndre Ayton's words, hunger. Like, they did not have the hunger for this game to seize on an opportunity. Like, this game wasn't hunger for them in the sense that unheralded guys, unheralded Hawks had the opportunity to step up, but they should have been hungry for the opportunity to set this road trip out the right way and to really capitalize on the fact that 3 of their 5 opponents on this road trip, the Hawks, the Hornets, and the Pelicans, they're not good teams. They're missing varying degrees of players. We'll see if Zion is back by the time the Lakers play the Pelicans.
They're walking between raindrops with all these injuries the Lakers are. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers, I don't want to make too big a thing out of this because it's atypical for them. They have not played like an entitled team. So I don't want to pretend that that's been the case for them. For the most part, effort and focus and desire and hunger, that's not been a thing for them. They've played really hard, and hopefully they take the lesson from this that's very obvious and very simple. You got to play hard every game if you want to give yourself a chance to win in the NBA. Like, you, until the game is in hand, at least, you have to play hard every game. Or unless you're like a three-peat level Lakers team, the Kobe Shaq, yeah, those teams sometimes phoned in some stuff, would flip the switch, but they were three-peat caliber.
Flip the switch.
This
Flip the
team,
switch.
Yeah, this team is not three-peat caliber. Like, they are not established with the bona fides.
Robert Horry is not walking through that door.
Exactly. Rick Fox is not walking. Prime Kobe and Shaq are not walking through that door. Like,
Brian Shaw is not walking through that door.
Yeah, I mean, I know Michael, if we had Michael on, would talk about how Showtime, we played hard every. No, you didn't. I guarantee you didn't. But
no, they didn't.
No, they didn't. But they were a team that at least had a reason to believe that they could flip the switch whenever they wanted, even if that wasn't always the case. These Lakers should not feel that way, particularly the guys they're missing. Hopefully.
My favorite quote tonight is, the food's going to taste bad, from DeAndre.
Lemon pepper wings are going to taste that much worse. And what a shame that is. The next broadcast of the season, shout out to Lou Williams, will be with the Lemon Peppers Monday in the Tar Heel State as the Lakers take on Charlotte Hornets. Not sure if LaMelo Ball is going to be available for that game. Definitely Brandon Miller will not.
Con Knipp will be playing.
Con Knipp. He's been lighting it up. Local coverage begins at 2:30 with the tip-off set at 4. And we appreciate everybody being here for the Lakers postgame show. Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
Lakers Hawks from State Farm Arena is the final. Game 10 of the NBA season is in the books from the ATL.
Lakers basketball on ESPN LA. Presented by Michelob Ultra. No matter what you're playing for, make it superior with Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, a superior taste worth playing for. Official beer sponsor of the Los Angeles